It is Super Bowl week, and this is the Experts coming out with hot, fast facts about the Buccaneers and whoever they're playing. I don't care; they're gonna lose. This is the Experts podcast with your host Benjamin Esper.
And I'm Christopher Esper, and I didn't prepare any hot facts because I didn't know we were preparing hot facts for this episode.
We are
So,
preparing hot facts. That was a way to lure them in.
oh
If
wait,
you remember fifth grade English class, you're supposed to hit the first paragraph. Supposed to be the hook, line, and sinker.
I mean we can talk about the Super Bowl, but we don't have to lie to our fans. That
We
just
should
seems like
lie.
bad.
No, we should lie because I have nothing
That
interesting to
seems
say, and we should lie.
that seems like bad business. Is
It's a
this a
bad.
business?
It's a good bit. It's probably bad business.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit. That's for sure. But it's not.
But here's the thing, though. I was right about the Super Bowl. I knew it was the Bucks and the Chiefs, and I just want you to admit that you were wrong and that you don't know anything about football.
I don't think you said that at all.
We can go back. I'm gonna listen. That's what the first podcast with Jacob was on. We decided Super Bowl picks, and I picked Chiefs Buccaneers, and you picked something stupid. And I'm right and you're wrong. I just want you to say that I'm right, me, Ben, and your Chris are wrong, and that you're bad at
I
football.
mean,
Don't say
I
you
mean,
mean.
you may have
I
you
know.
may have said that.
I did say that.
I feel like you said you didn't say the Chiefs though. You said a different AFC team.
Who would
I think you said the Browns.
I picked the Browns? No. No. Let's not
We'll
let's
have to go
let's
back and
be
look.
reasonable.
But
I don't need to go back, Chris. I watched it beforehand because I knew that I had it right. Once the moment the Bucks won, I was like, the Chiefs aren't going to lose. How could the Chiefs lose? Even without
well,
Patrick
I think
Mahomes, the Chiefs could
what
still
did I
win.
have it as? Chiefs,
I
Packers.
didn't even listen because you were just the stupidest answer. It probably was Chiefs Packers, but it was a terrible terrible pick.
I don't think. I mean, they were 5 points away
You
from
were
being there.
literally immediately wrong. The
They
first
were.
game
They were.
immediately wrong.
They were a better head coaching decision away from being there.
You liked pick Gonzaga for women's swimming. Who would ever do that?
How do you know Gonzaga's not really good at women's swimming?
Because I'm an aficionado of women's swimming.
Are you? Who's really good at women's swimming then?
Maria Sharapova.
She plays tennis. she
Serena
she lit,
Williams.
she quite literally plays tennis.
Um,
All right, so I
Oprah
mean,
Winfrey.
we can talk about the Super Bowl. I
Let's talk about the
mean,
Super Bowl. What is there to talk about?
so obviously, I'm assuming that you have the Bucks winning. Let's
Course.
just big gambling lines. Chiefs -3. Even though the Bucks are at home they're hosting their own Super Bowl for the first time in NFL history and have the chance to win the first Super Bowl at home for the first time in history. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Good for the Bucks.
But it's Chiefs -3. Over under is 57. So I think that
Over under is
Bucks.
57. Wait, does that mean the point difference could be? Oh, them combined is 57.
Yes, that's the line. So you can either bet over 57 or under 57. I think it's definitely going to go over. I think the final score is going to be something like 38-35 or 38-31 or 35-31, something like
I don't know.
that.
If you can figure out Breeze, you can probably figure out Patrick Mahomes. I bet the Bucks
No,
will have a defensive.
that is so wrong. It is not even funny.
You've literally were immediately wrong. I don't want to hear your
Did you
crappy
really just
insights.
compare 40-year-old Drew Brees to probably the best player in the NFL right now?
They literally had a problem with him all year, and then they were just on him. So I think the Bucks will, if they haven't already been practicing for Mahomes, are ready for him.
And they didn't have a problem with Drew Brees. Their whole team just had problems altogether.
With
Like
Drew
they just
Brees,
didn't play.
they
It
got
wasn't
destroyed
Drew
by the Saints
Brees.
all year long. Like they destroyed every other team, most every other team, and then the Saints dominated them.
The game that they got blown out is because they turned the ball over 3 times and punted the ball the other 2 times they had the ball in the first half. I think the Saints started on the Bucks side of the field every possession except for one. So yeah, Drew Brees led 4 40-yard drives, and I think one of them was like less than 20 yards. Like Drew Brees didn't do anything magnificent that game. Patrick Mahomes is the best football player alive right now.
In both
Like,
in
don't
both games, they scored more than 30 points. They had the Bucks number, and then, or at least Drew Brees had the Bucks number, and then they didn't. So I'm just saying, Patrick Mahomes is going to get stopped this game. It's going to be unprecedented, but it's going to happen. It's going to be under 57 points. Bucks
no.
win by probably going to be field goal. It's probably going to be down to the wire field goal, and we'll win it.
So give me a Patrick Mahomes stat line prediction then.
Stat line prediction, it's going to be 290 yards, at least one interception, and 2 touchdowns.
What about completion percentage?
I don't know. What's normal? A little less than normal.
65? 60. I would say like 60% is normal.
I'll give him 65 because he's an elite quarterback.
But you really think that with all of the weapons the Chiefs have on offense, they literally have their tight end almost led the league in receiving yards.
Yes.
And their superstar wide receiver was also in the top 10 in receiving yards. And you think that the Bucks, with their mediocre, maybe average at best secondary, is going to stop them?
Yes. They've been on fire. They're going to continue to be on fire. And it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of Sunday to win.
Here's the only way that they win this game on Sunday is if Leonard Fournette runs for 100 yards and they sack Patrick Mahomes 5 times.
5 times is a lot. I can see 3.
They won't even sack him 3 times.
I can see 3. I think their averages might only. I don't know what Bucks' average sack per game is. It's not high.
Because they played each other earlier this year.
I think the Bucks lost that game.
They did.
They also lost to the Saints.
So the Chiefs won 27-24, with the Bucks scoring 14 points in the fourth quarter.
They have 3 sacks per game.
It was 27-10 going into the fourth quarter. Patrick Mahomes was 37 of 49, 462 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill had 13 catches, 269, and 3 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, 8 catches, 82 yards.
The Bucks have the number 4 defense in sacks. Okay, that's sacks only.
Let's see. Tom Brady went 27 of 41, 345, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks.
I think
they sacked Patrick Mahomes 2 times. Didn't pick him off. Their kicker made 1 field goal.
Yeah, but again,
they ran the ball for 76 yards. On 12 attempts.
Go through all the stats over and over and over again. I'm telling you, the Bucks have it together. They're playing the best football in the entire league at the moment.
You're on crack.
You're on crack. If you don't see this, you're like.
And the Chiefs are 14
Mahomes glasses. You're wearing Mahomes glasses, and you can't see past his beautiful face and hair. Okay. I have Winston eyes. Okay, and I understand that, but you need to take off the Mahomes glasses.
So before Patrick Mahomes got hurt in that Chiefs-Browns game, it was like a 2-touchdown game.
So what you're telling me is that
Patrick Mahomes was 21 for 30, 255, and 1 touchdown, and I think he got hurt in the second quarter, maybe the third quarter.
So what you're telling me is that the Bucks need to break Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, that's the only way that's the only way they win this game is if Patrick Mahomes doesn't play.
Okay.
Like, I get that Tom Brady is still Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is still Tom Brady, and everyone is good.
But Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
It's gonna be a really good game, but I think the Chiefs win by a touchdown.
They only won by a field goal last time.
Yeah, and just like you said, the Saints beat the Bucks 2 times this year, and look what happened.
The Bucks won. What are you saying?
Yeah, and you're saying the Chiefs only won by a touchdown. They could blow them out this game. That's what I'm saying.
I think the corollary for that would be the Bucks would then beat the Chiefs by at least a field goal.
No.
right? Because the Bucks lost twice and they beat the Chiefs or beat the Saints. The Bucks lost to the Saints or the Chiefs. Oh my God, there's too many team names going around in my head. The Bucks lost to the Chiefs, and the Bucks would beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's how the corollary works. You said
I don't know.
you were like if Saints beat the Bucks, then the Bucks beat the Saints, and if the Chiefs beat the Buccaneers, then the Chiefs beat the Buccaneers.
I'm saying what has happened in the past has no effect on what's going to happen in the present.
That's just not true. It's just not. That's just. Why would you even say such a thing? There are 4-year-olds who say less stupid things than what you just said. Has no. What?
I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't see the Bucks winning this game.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, dude.
And I
You've been
think
wrong so far.
the other thing that makes me uh like kind of like just makes me think that like the Bucks have almost no chance. In the game against the Bills, who I think the Bills have like a top 10 defense in the NFL this year, like passing wise. Tyreek Hill, 9 catches, 172 yards, 19.1 average. Travis Kelsey, 13 catches, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. And they also did not have Sammy Watkins or Le'Veon Bell. And I believe that they will have both of them for this game.
Um,
And I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire will be a lot healthier as well. They should be fairly close to full strength again. And that is uh, not good for the Bucks.
okay, we'll see. We'll see, dude. I think no one was on my side going into it. There are certainly a bunch of people on my side now saying the Bucks will win. Raymond James Stadium's going to be lit. I'm actually upset that we're not going to go to the stadium. I'd actually like to be there.
You want to go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, not. I don't want to be in the stadium. I think that would be rather expensive, and I can't afford that. However,
I mean, I think it would be more expensive than rather expensive.
it'd be
Would you like
rather
to take?
expensive. Listen,
Would you like to take a guess at how many how much the tickets are?
$25,000.
I'm in the, I'm in the process. I think it's less than that, bud. But
Oh well, then that's fine because I'm rich.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean to sit in the upper deck, like as high up as you could possibly go, is going to run you 6 grand.
that's fine. It got COVID seating, which should be closer. At least there's not some fat guy in the way.
Lower level 50-yard line is going to run you 15,500 a piece.
I'd pay that. That's fine. For a Super Bowl?
And oh, actually, the closest seat that's available that's left is 25 grand a piece for a game that you could watch at home for.
Was last year the year that they had Mr. Beast there with the PewDiePie sign at the Super Bowl? Was that last year?
I don't know.
I feel like that was a long time ago.
Could have been.
There wasn't any shenanigans at the last Super Bowl, was there?
What does that mean?
Like stuff at the Super Bowl, like
I don't
shenanigans.
know what that
You
means.
don't know what shenanigans means?
I don't know what not stuff at the Super Bowl means. I mean, like they had the Super Bowl.
Right, right. But they didn't have signs or whatever. They didn't do something silly with people who went there. You know, like streaking or
I'm
showed the
lost.
sign. You remember the Mr.
But yeah,
Beast sign?
they're not. Oh, the trees thing, the
Yeah. No,
save
no,
the
no.
trees or whatever.
I think it was subscribe to PewDiePie. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Was PewDiePie doing the trees thing?
No, 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 no. Mr. Beast is the tree guy, but also he was he's the sub to PewDiePie guy. You
I
need to
don't
learn
know.
more references, dude. Yeah, what do you even do with your life? You watch football and sports and talk about it. Learn some
Yeah,
pop
but
culture
I don't really
references.
pay attention to PewDiePie.
It wasn't PewDiePie. It was the Super Bowl.
I don't know. I don't remember the Super Bowl from last year.
The Super Bowl from last year,
The Chiefs won.
they didn't want to show a marijuana commercial, and people were upset that they had alcohol commercials. because
Yeah, because marijuana is not yet legal and alcohol continues to be legal. So
marijuana is legal in some states.
not everywhere.
I think it was legal in the state that they had the Super Bowl.
Minnesota?
That sounds right. I think Minnesota's legal.
I don't know.
Minnesota
Speaking of just the
weed.
NFL in general,
Oh,
how do you feel like this season went?
for who?
I don't think just as a fan of the NFL and someone who plays fantasy football, like I would say you're a very casual fan of professional football. Like how would you rate this season
I
as
don't
it's
know.
coming to an end on Sunday?
I didn't watch a lot of games this year. I think I may have watched the least amount of games this year, and it just
Like
has
any particular reason why or
no. I think that's no. I had nothing to do for sure, and I went to if I wanted to go watch a game, I could have, but I just didn't care. I didn't care to watch a game. I don't know why. But like I don't do that for a lot of things. I don't watch basketball a lot. I only watch it with you.
See,
I don't
but I
watch
think you
sports a lot.
care a lot more about football than you do about any of the other major sports.
No, I care more about fantasy football and beating you than I care about.
Yeah, but you never do that, and you always lose.
Yeah, well, it's probably because I don't watch any games.
I don't watch that. I don't watch any. Like I mean, like I watch the games, but like
Yeah, you watch a lot of the podcasts and the after action reports and the stat
no, I don't do
dudes
that.
and the talking heads, and then you gotta watch the streamers and all that other stuff. You get all the post product stuff. You don't watch the main event. You're,
No,
you're like
that's
the
not really
guy.
true.
You're like the guy who doesn't watch The Walking Dead but likes all the behind the scenes features on the DVD.
You're like the guy that wants to be a Walking Dead fan but doesn't own a TV.
I don't want to be a Walking Dead fan. The only cool thing about Walking Dead, have you ever heard the intro for The Walking Dead?
No,
It's so cool.
I've never watched this show.
It's like a violin. What would you call it? It's not a arpeggio. Maybe it is an arpeggio. Yeah, I think it's an arpeggio, and then it has a riser behind it, and then it shifts down to some other key. It's so cool. I love it. It's like you ever heard you have you gone to an EDM festival?
No.
We should get ripped and do that. But also, at an EDM festival, the drop is usually followed by a riser. But instead of it being like, yeah, awesome. Imagine if it was depressing and you felt like you wanted to die. That's what the not Breaking Bad. Were we watching? Walking Dead. That's what the Walking Dead intro is like. I have no idea what the Breaking Bad intro sounds like.
I don't either.
I
I
imagine
I'm not sure.
it's The Middle by Jimmy Eat World.
Is it really?
It's not. It should be, but it's not. It'd be funny if it was. No, it wouldn't. It'd only be funny in my joke. In real life, it would be really lame.
I mean, it sounds pretty lame already.
Yeah. You know that song, The Middle?
I mean, it sounds familiar.
It's like.
So, moving on to another topic. Did you see that Jeff Bezos is stepping down?
I did see Jeff Bezos stepping down. What a weird move for Jeff Bezos. After
But I
the
mean, like,
best quarter in Amazon history, in literally industry history, the entire economy of forever, the best quarter ever, and you go, "No, I'm good. I can't." Well, he went out on top, bro. He went out on top. He said, "I'm the best ever. I'm walking away." You Floyd
I
Mayweather
mean,
of business,
that's a pretty good way to go.
but you could do better. You know, the next guy that sets in those shoes, the next quarter is going to be even better. He'd be like, "Yeah, it was all me. I was just in the wings, waiting to be the best."
Yeah,
What's he
I don't
gonna
know.
do?
I mean,
Did he sell
I,
all his portion of the company? Is that why he stepped down?
I don't know, but he should because they'll probably do a reverse split.
Apple or
Amazon.
Amazon? Jesus.
I mean, it's worth like $3,000 right now. Like if they want to get,
Young
more people.
investors.
Exactly, they got to get that down. They probably need to do like a 30-1 split to get it down to like 30. I mean, even a Even a 30-to-1 split puts it at $300.
Doesn't it put it at 100?
Whatever.
You
Yeah,
don't know how
but I
to
mean,
do
they
that.
probably need to get it. Yeah, shut up. Whatever. They probably need to get it somewhere below like $250 to get retail investors into it.
What did Apple start off with this year? I think they were at 100 or fifty
They're around,
dollars.
around 100.
It was
Yeah,
real low. Maybe they should do that because Apple's the most steady growing security in the world.
probably.
Like 5 or
I mean,
7% a year. It's pretty sweet.
people know like they're just gonna put out the same phone every year, and the same people are just gonna keep buying it.
They there has to be
As
something.
long as as long as it's mainstream to have an iPhone, Apple is going to be a super successful company.
Who do you think invents the next innovative phone technology?
BlackBerry.
BlackBerry? Isn't BlackBerry doing what are
They're
they
doing
doing?
something with 5G, aren't they?
No, they're getting cars. They're making cars.
But I thought they were making like they were trying to make phones that were more that had more like connectivity with cars.
More connectivity than Bluetooth? Is it going to be the the Apple equivalent their home technology where it's all connected? If I needed to turn the microwave on from my toilet, I can just yell out, "Alexa, turn my microwave on" while I'm taking a poop.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't have all this fancy technology. I don't even have a clapper. I think a clapper would be cool. That's rich for 70s. I'm not even rich
The
enough to do
clapper would
that.
be cool.
Huh?
I said a clapper would be cool.
Not the clap though. I don't want that.
No, like maybe not the sexually transmitted disease, but like if I could clap and things in my house did things, that would be cool.
I tried to think of an acronym real quick for clap and I couldn't do it. I'm trying to make a joke. I'm just bad.
Did you see
Certified
the
licensed auto
did you
practitioner.
did you see the feel good story of the day from another big company?
The feel good story of the day.
Yeah, or at
Did
least that I've seen.
did Nestle finally free their slave monkeys?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Well, that's not very good. It's not a very feel good story, is it then?
But so apparently in
Okay.
2000 in 2012 there was someone with a disability. I think I don't want to like misquote like his disability or whatever, but he had some sort of disability to where like take putting on and taking off shoes was not something that was easy for him.
Did he have
And
shake
so
disease?
I don't know, but please be respectful.
But you know what I mean, though,
But
right?
he wrote he I think I don't know. He wrote a letter to Nike
You got brain
saying
disease. Gotta
asking
fix
them to
that.
make shoes that were easy for people like him to put on and take off, and they finally are releasing shoes like that. It's the new Nike Fly Ease. Um, like if you look it up, there's a video of like you literally just put your foot in the shoe, just kind of like puts itself together around you, and when you take it off,
Whoa.
it like reopens the shoe, so that way it's easy to stick your foot back in.
I actually like that idea.
Are
I
you
haven't looked at it
are
yet.
you watching? Are
No, no,
you watching
I'm
it?
going to. Hold on. I'm going to. Because that looks
Uh,
awesome. That sounds
I mean,
awesome.
like it's super cool. Like, and I mean, like that's just
Holy
Nike
crap.
continuing to
$135.
right. I mean, that's how much a Nike shoe is just generally going for now. I have 120 is what I'm seeing.
These designs look stupid, though.
I don't know if it's about the design. I think
These
it's
things
about the.
gotta fall apart almost immediately, too. Right?
Why do you say that?
They look like they're pieces of, like, the thinnest plastic, barely stitched together. Like, it has to. It's all elastic, yeah? And then once the elastic wears out, it's basically ruined.
I have absolutely no clue.
I don't know. People will be complaining about this soon enough. I thought the the strap over ones were easy enough, but I guess this guy's disability is a little worse than what I've seen.
Well, it's for people that may not be able to bend over and like do that.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's
They're
I
not
don't
really
know.
they're not really running anywhere though, so just put on some flip flops. Don't you think? Or maybe you
I mean,
could.
I think that they should be able to put on whatever shoes they want, and I'm glad that Nike is giving them the ability to do that.
Me too, but your first statement is incorrect.
Okay, but I saw that today and it made me happy because I was like, that's really cool that there's companies that actually care about the people that are buying their products, not just money. Even though Nike probably does care a lot more about money,
Yeah,
and they
coming
know
in at
that they're
30
going to make a
bucks,
lot of
Nike.
money. Yeah, I'm sure that that shoe probably costs them less than $10 to make, and they're selling it for 120.
Yeah, and they're
But
probably crippling Chinese people in the process too.
oh,
That's how they
I'm
make their
sure that
profit margin.
I'm sure that they are. But it's nice to see that they might sort of kind of care in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I want to thank Chris for outing me as an ableist. Appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of did it to yourself. I didn't really have to try that hard.
Well, I mean, yeah, my prejudices and biases are pretty noticeable.
Did you see the
Kind of just an awful person.
big video game news of today?
No, you're full of big news. What have you been doing all day besides Chris has been playing chess against me, and I've been working very hard today, and he's just not nonstop just been playing. But I guess you're also been reading articles. What's the big news for gaming, bud? I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, college football's coming back.
That's awesome. I'm glad the NCAA lost so much money this year that they had to bring back their stupid
No,
college football game.
It's not NCAA. So far, everything that I've read, they have not said the word NCAA once. They've just said college football.
Yeah?
So I
Do you
think
think
as of right, well, because what they're doing is they're waiting until the players are allowed to get paid for their likeness until Congress passes that bill. And I think what they'll do is they'll probably get someone, to form like a players association, kind of like how like the NFL has, because um like Madden, they do their contract and their licensing agreement strictly through the NFLPA, not through the NFL. Like, and the NFLPA is a separate entity. And so I'm assuming that they'll do the same thing with college football, and they'll have some sort of college players association.
so? We have to wait for the law to go into effect. When is
I mean,
that?
they were saying like the game was projected to come out in like 2022 or 2023.
Oh, that's good. So it'll actually be a fun game that isn't graphically disgusting, and will have fun game modes.
I
Did
mean,
they say anything about that?
it's still going to be
It's
made
still gonna
by
be
our good
garbage.
friends at Electronic Arts, so I won't say that. Uh,
Electronic Arts lost their Disney license for Star Wars, and I think other Disney games, but specifically Star Wars because they're so terrible at making games. They couldn't even make a shooter. I mean, they had a carbon copy of the game. There's a Star Wars game already out there, Battlefront. People already love that, and then they made it the same name and title, and then made it a different game that's worse and bad in every way. Like you just have to copy. You have the whole name. Just copy the same stinking game. How hard is it? And they made it into just a generic shooter. That's awesome. I love EA. Where creativity dies.
yeah, I mean, they that when the whole like NFL Nickelodeon thing came about, which I still don't understand that
Sorry? You
collaboration.
need to explain, because I have not heard of this.
Did you not see
No. Just tell me. I don't
there
know.
was it was I think it was the first round of the playoffs in the NFL. Like there was like an NFL broadcast. Like
On, like, iCarly?
I don't know, like they
They
had like an
might
NFL broadcast that like so like
bring
when people
it.
scored a touchdown, like they did like an animation on the screen where there was like slime shooting everywhere.
I know somehow we're gonna get there.
But like so in Madden, they have a game mode called they
Yeah.
have like a it's like a playground mode called the Yard. And so I think the biggest thing that like Madden fans have been asking for is them to fix like franchise mode because it's just garbage and there's so many things wrong with it. But instead, they put an entire new um, like field and like uniforms and like animations and celebrations and all this kind of stuff like with SpongeBob instead of fixing the problems that are already wrong with the game.
That's not fair. That's a totally different group of people who are working on that, and they worked really hard on SpongeBob in Madden. That's not fair to those developers. It's not all just like one team working on the same thing. It's a bunch of different guys working on different stuff.
But it's like, but they had to have allocated money and resources and all of this kind of stuff specifically for that SpongeBob thing, as opposed to fixing the parts of their game that are already broken.
Yeah, but that guy already had that job when it first started. He was already there. You had the animations for dancing to begin with, yeah? And there aren't just like black boxes running around the field?
I don't know. I just feel like
You feel like they should have fixed it already?
I mean, I don't really play franchise mode, but I know that whenever EA posted like that on their social media, people were only commenting saying fix franchise mode.
True though. They a lot of these games should fix franchise mode. They're all garbage. Just bring back the show number 2 franchise mode where I can add popcorn for $7. That's all I care about. I just want to change the price for popcorn in my stupid video game simulation of sports events. Is
I don't know
soccer
what that
franchise
means.
pretty good? People love FIFA. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't.
Maybe you should. That's your job for next week, Chris. You need to buy FIFA and
I ate a bunch.
yeah, get addicted to that that pack buying thing, where people spend hundreds of $1,000s a month
Well,
on.
I do that in Madden. Like I do Madden Ultimate Team, but I
You pay
don't.
hundreds of thousand. You
No,
pay.
I haven't paid any money.
Oh, well, are you any good then?
My team is not very good. No.
Huh? Maybe you should pay more money. Maybe you'd be
Well,
good then.
I mean, I've also just been getting really good at Rocket League.
Listen. Sean and I, lost a game today. Go ahead.
Okay, that's
Don't.
it. That's the tweet. Like that's that's
No,
it.
no. We played 3 games and we won 2. We're doing the ranked ones now.
Okay, so let's do ranked ones tonight too. Then, so if you're listening to this podcast and you want to play us in Rocket League, drop a
It's
like
not
and
live.
subscribe, comment. Yeah, but Ben, they can comment on the
No,
YouTube video.
don't stop. I told you to not do
And
this. I don't care who's listening or who's watching. Everyone who
leave a
watches
comment on the
this,
YouTube video if you want to get us to play us in Rocket League.
listen. If you're listening to this right now, you're stupid and I hate you. Quit watching. Unsubscribe. Dislike this video. Don't share it with your friends. In fact, if you see me next and you tell me you watch this, I might kiss you on the mouth and then sucker punch you.
If
Right
you're listening to
afterwards.
this podcast, buy GameStop.
Don't. That might be illegal in a couple of months, Chris. Don't say that. You I don't want to have to go through all this effort of putting this stuff out just for you to go to jail for 35 years for
Yeah,
market
don't buy
manipulation. You can't say
Yeah,
that
but
either. You
the
can't
hedge
say anything.
the hedge funds won't go to jail for market manipulation.
Right. Are you a hedge fund? Do you grow leaves? Do you
Should be.
photosynthesize?
Okay, do you want to play
Not a hedge fund.
Jameis Winston stat game?
No. I want to talk for about 15 more minutes to hit the 50-minute mark, and then we'll play that.
Why does it have to be 50 minutes? Why can't we just dictate our podcast length whenever we want to?
I don't know, because I feel like I want to talk to you more on this medium instead of in that medium.
Okay. Well, I feel like I have been
Done.
driving the topics. So
What do you
what would
mean?
you like to talk about?
We're talking about Jeff Bezos. You're skipping
Yeah, but
back
I
and
brought
forth.
that up.
Is this a
That's what I'm
battle
saying.
now about who brings up the most stuff?
No, I'm saying, like, is there a topic that you wanted to talk about today that we have not yet talked about?
Put me on the spot makes me really anxious, and I can't really think of anything
Well, I'm glad
that
that you
is.
prepared Super Bowl stats that you didn't read, and I'm glad that you didn't prepare any topics for this
There are no.
podcast to do.
Listen, I don't. I'm not a sports guy. I'm not a podcast guy. I'm a talking guy. I like to talk. I like to fill space with my voice and make sure that other people listen to it. That's what I'm good at. I'm good at
Okay.
rambling on for a couple minutes about a topic that really shouldn't be talked about for very long, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. That's just what I'm good at. I'm good at talking for a long time and saying nothing over and over and over again to make
And saying
other
the same
people
thing over and over and
saying the
over
same thing
again.
over and over again without adding any substance to anything. And that's just it's just what I'm good at. I'm good
So
at what I'm
is
good
that
at.
what we're gonna do till we hit the 50-minute mark? Is talking
I was just
uh
gonna talk myself in
incoherent
circles
sentences
about how I can talk about talking about things. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Come on, there's got to be something that you want to talk about.
I was gonna complain about how I can't buy Dogecoin, but I can buy Dogecoin now. It just freaked out for a second. I was very upset for about an hour and a half.
Do you Okay, so I have a question now. Do
Thank you.
you think do you think that there will be uh, a trading like platform that is born from all of this, that because like obviously the trading platforms that are all out there right now that are free and have no commission fees and all of this kind of stuff, like they obviously have um, people behind the scenes that are the big, money movers and the string pullers. So do you think there'll be like a someone that wants to develop something that they don't have that problem, and maybe people flock to that
Your
with the
question's kind of long and complicated, but here's the short answer. The short answer is no. From what I can understand about what happened with Robinhood, I don't think it's, despite the fact that it is kind of shady that Citadel does own Robinhood, and they're also the short company for GameStop, I'm actually not certain that they're at fault for what has happened. Did you read the explanation
I mean, like,
for?
I get that they didn't have the money to process the orders and all this kind of stuff, but it's but I feel like the way that they did it, just it's way too shady for there not to be something going on behind the scenes, and it's the fact that they don't have the money to process the retail investor orders, but they have the money to process the hedge fund investor orders.
Robinhood
Just that,
doesn't. No, no. I think you're misunderstanding because Robinhood doesn't process everybody's orders, right? Melvin Capital probably processes his own orders, and it's all kept in. I forgot. It's called a house. It's called something house,
clearinghouse.
clearinghouse. But you're supposed to provide capital or collateral for the trades you make. And I don't think what was talked about very often was probably how much like margin trading was going on, where people didn't have any money, and it was Robinhood footing the bill for those trades.
Oh,
Um,
so you're saying it was like people that like they want to deposit $1,000 into their account, but
no, no,
the
no.
transfer from their bank account hasn't actually happened yet, so they're spending Robinhood's money until their money actually gets to their account.
Well, also that's probably also an issue that prompted something else. But also, margin trading is like using a credit card, but for stocks. Like you don't
Yeah, no, I
have
get
the
what
money,
you're saying.
but like you don't have the money at all. You have $0 in your bank account, but
Oh,
you're like, but I can let me try to make money off of your money, and then I'll pay you back with interest. Some of those margin accounts are probably fairly large, and so
uh,
they're playing with I don't know how many. I mean, with how many users there are, there's probably more than a couple $100 million of just margin trading they had to do with their own money. That's not. It's not in
but
any other stock. They had to put it all in GameStop, and that's probably what led to the $1 billion they had to raise overnight. They probably just ran out of money, and some people called in on it, or they needed it for something else to put their trades through to continue their platform to work. But I'm sure that night, or that during that day, and then that whole week, those last 2 weeks, I don't know, for
Hmm.
however long it's going on, they've probably been under a lot of stress to make sure that there's enough money anywhere in the system to do something as big as that again, if it were to come to that. So I'm not certain that another company needs to come out and do that, because I'm also certain that TD Ameritrade had that problem, and Webull probably had that problem, and E Trade.
Well, I know that Cash App came out today and said that their person that does their trades made them stop, but then like 4 hours later, like they told them they could keep going.
Yeah, because he probably found the money in a bank somewhere to allow them to do that, or they moved money around and freed stuff up from their own accounts to have liquid cash on hand. So, no, I don't think any other company needs to come out. I mean, sure, it's fine. They can come out, free trade, free capital, all that good stuff. It's good to make companies, but what happened may have looked like a conspiracy, and it probably could have been. I'm not certain that it 100% was, and a lot of it's just procedural issues that their system wasn't built to handle, and I'm not certain any system was built to handle that has to deal with as many people as there was. Just like when Donald Trump got elected and they crashed the immigration site or anything like that, it's not prepared. A lot of places are not prepared for a massive influx of popularity like that. It's just not
Yeah.
what those systems are built for.
I don't know. It still just felt like, even though at that time, like I didn't have like any skin in the game, it just felt like the people. Well, no, I did have skin in the game. I had AMC. Um, but it felt like you were getting robbed of the very thing that Robinhood like started its company on,
And you
where it
were.
was like, and I get that it may have caused them like some issues or whatever, but it's like at the same time, that's not, like that's not our problem, that's your problem. And like, if you, I don't know, I feel like they didn't try to find another way to do it. They just saw that the easiest way to do it would just be to cancel everything and to not allow people to buy it until they could figure out another way to do it. And I mean, they still haven't figured out another way to do it because there's still limits on how much stuff you can buy.
Yeah, it's probably to prevent
Uh,
that same issue from happening again. I mean, at least you can buy something in small amounts.
yeah, but I feel like that's still in some way, shape, or form. Like that's still the same market manipulation that people were screaming for last week or whenever it was that it happened the first time. I mean, because like you're you're changing someone's ability to do what they want to do for essentially your benefit. Like I get that it's not, like, not allowing people to buy it may not directly make Robinhood money, but you know what I mean? Like it
I
doesn't
I get
feel
what you
like,
mean. It's an unfortunate situation because if it was reversed and we were the short sellers, like the same thing
oh, they'd be coming for every penny we have.
right, but no. But what I'm saying is that probably the same thing would have had to have happened. They couldn't the hedge funds couldn't have just kept buying forever. They would have gotten stopped at some point.
No,
No, that's not true
they would have
because they're
they would
not.
have let the hedge funds buy forever.
No, because they weren't trading on the same platform. They probably had free reign or
Yeah,
enough capital to do that.
that's been the biggest gripe, is that us retail investors were fighting an unwinnable war because they they're not trade they don't have to trade on the same platforms and at the same hours that we do and under the same rules that we do.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Just create your own hedge fund or
I mean, I don't know enough
invest
about any of
into
this
a
stuff.
a growth CD or something like that. That
I
I
don't know.
mean,
it just felt like all of those companies that like obviously Robinhood was the big scapegoat because that was the platform that people traded the most on, and just because of their name and their values that they claimed to have, like it just I don't know. It's been a wild week, and like if they're already like Netflix already has like a documentary or something like in the works, um, and like I'm sure this will be talked about for years and years and years to come, and
Maybe.
I
It
don't know,
perhaps might be.
it's crazy.
There
No,
might be
this will
something.
be. I mean, this will be remembered forever.
There could be something bigger coming up that is a result
Oh,
of
I mean,
this.
there's
That'll.
definitely going to be more things like GameStop that happen, but it's just like this is the beginning of like the retail and internet investor.
Maybe. I hope not. That's a war that is not worth fighting. It's probably bad for market health.
I mean, it's clearly bad for market health because when all of the money was getting pumped into the meme stocks, like the market had its biggest loss since October. But then when they started manipulating the markets and didn't allow people to buy the meme stocks, like the market recovered because they wanted to put their money into something so that they could keep trying to make more money. So they bought things that they were allowed to buy.
Well, you could have also perhaps scared off traditional investors from investing in anything. They just liquidated all of their positions on
I mean,
the.
that wouldn't have been a bad idea either.
Yeah, but also that'll drive the market down. That could be on the fear that their stock is next to be hit, whether it's a squeeze or they're shorting it themselves or some sort of ladder or something like that. That it negatively affects their position because they're a hedge fund, they're a Wall Street guy, and they're targeting those types of people. If they were targeting those types of people, I'm not certain that was ever the original play. That's certainly what it's turned into. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not always that they didn't go crash the rest of the market over GameStop. I imagine it was fears off of volatility in the market from not traditional retail investors, but the new age retail investors.
I don't know, but I did see that there was a is it BlackRock?
I don't know what that is.
There was some uh like big I don't know if they're an investment company or what they are, but they apparently bought 6.2 million shares of AMC late today.
Yeah, I just don't. Some of that stuff doesn't make any sense to me. GameStop in the beginning made sense. AMC sort of makes sense. I guess they're still the biggest movie theater in the country.
I mean, they're reopening theaters. Like this has helped them get rid of a lot of debt and stuff. Like, I don't think it's going to go like.
What even is a good movie to watch? You got King Kong versus Godzilla. You see the commercials for
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, like people probably have. You got to think that all this time that like people that had movies that they were getting ready to roll out, they're probably just sitting on them
No,
and
no.
waiting for movie theaters to start opening again, and then they're going to start rolling them out like crazy.
They already have contracts with streaming companies. Like Hulu's bought up a bunch of them. Netflix has got a bunch of them. So
I don't
they're
know. I mean, like people like going to the movie theater.
true.
Like it's going. People are going to start going back to movie theaters once like they can.
Maybe. I imagine there'll be a scar on the theater industry forever because of this. Because of how reliant we've been on streaming platforms, I think there'll be a
Possibly.
scar forever. Why would you want to go to the movie theater? I mean, I guess that is cool, but why would you ever pay $12 for a ticket to go see a movie that's free on Disney Plus?
I think it's more about I mean, it's the same reason. Why would you go pay $25,000 to go watch the Super Bowl when you could just watch it at home for infinitely less than that? It's about the experience, and like that's the industry that movies and concerts, and because like if you're going to a concert, like you're listening to the same music that you could listen to on your phone for $10 a month. But it's about the
No,
experience of doing it in person and doing it on a bigger scale.
movie theaters are different in the way that I can turn my house into a movie theater. It's
If you
close
have the
enough.
money to, it's I don't know if it is, I don't know if
I
it's
can even
close
get an
enough. It's
analog. To what extent can I make my house into a football stadium? To what extent can I turn my house into a music concert? Unless I'm just literally watching the concert, I'm not just
I don't
listening to
know.
the album and expecting that to be the concert experience. But I can see that.
There's going to be lots of people that want to go and experience things that they weren't able to experience during COVID whenever they're allowed to again.
I agree. I just also want to point out that there will be a lot of people that don't care anymore and they realize that that's something they could cut out of their lives and it won't change much.
Possibly, for sure.
Unlike sports, no one was really crying about not being able to go to the movie theaters anymore. There was a lot of people crying about not being able to go to a concert, to a sports event.
See, but you were more keen on looking for people crying about not being able to go to a concert or a sporting event because that resonates with you. Like you don't care about going to the movie theater, so you weren't looking for people complaining about not being able to go to the movie theater.
I wasn't looking at
Because
all. This is just
I'm sure that
my
I'm sure that there were plenty of people complaining about not going to the movie theater, or else the movie theater business would have died out a long time ago if there weren't people that cared about it.
not the same amount and the movie theater business is dying. That's been a common thread for a decade.
But I mean, when the big name Hollywood movies come out, like a Star Wars or a Marvel, or you know, uh, like a big action type movie or a super like popular comedy, you know, type movie. Like those movies still sell at the box office, maybe not as much as they did before, but I mean, like what was the last like big movie to come out?
Tenet from Christopher Nolan, and I'm pretty sure that movie bombed,
Um,
didn't it?
it grossed 57.9 million in the United States and Canada and 305.2 million worldwide for a total of 363.1.
Versus its production cost, is that out yet?
Let's see.
Because its production cost is that amount, and I believe usually you spend your production costs again on
It did
marketing.
not it did not break even on its production
Yep.
cost.
So it's a flop. Yeah.
But this was 2021. I'm talking about like pre-COVID.
The last big movie to come out pre-COVID probably was it Avengers Endgame? No. Yeah, wasn't it?
I'm trying to think. Like I looked up 2020 February movies and there wasn't anything big out
I think it was
because that
Avengers Endgame.
that probably came out in December.
2019,
I'm guessing.
April 22nd, 2019. Nope, I'm just not even close to being right. Maybe it had to have been Star Wars. Then I remember it being a Disney Marvel film. The Rise of
I'm
Skywalker.
looking December 2019.
December 16th,
Uh,
2019, Rise of Skywalker.
I mean, just think about something like 1917. That came out December 2019. Like 1917 isn't a big, um, you know,
1917 movies barely exist. What are you talking about?
the movie 1917.
Oh, it's like what are you talking about? They've
Like
they just barely
that's
invented
what I'm
it.
saying is like that's a movie that doesn't have like the biggest name on here is George McKay. Do you know Benedict Cumberbatch is in it, but like
It's a movie called
there's no
George McKay.
there's no like A-list movie stars in it that like I know of.
That's the biggest movie
Um,
of 2020. George
no, like that
McKay.
was That was like the last movie that I saw that like I've recognized. So like just but that's my point is like it's not a big Disney, it's not a big Star Wars, it's not a big Marvel. Like there's movies like this that like are coming out that are still making a profit. So it's saying that worldwide 384.9 million against a production budget of 90 to 100 million. Deadline Hollywood calculated the net profit of the film to be 77 million.
Um, I wish I knew what the cost of having to release a movie in theater was, just so I could say if you cut that out versus the pure
But you're still
profit.
going to have to advertise it on whatever streaming platform you're using. Like it's not going to
Do
just
you?
because you're not.
You can do that for free though if it's your own streaming service.
No, you think Netflix is going to let you do anything for free?
Netflix can advertise its own movies on Netflix for free.
Yeah, and they're going to make you pay to do that.
They're gonna make
There's
Netflix
a reason.
pay for Netflix to advertise on there.
No. So like if Star Wars wants to release a movie on Netflix, like Netflix is going to sign a exclusive rights deal with Star Wars to make sure that it's only on Netflix and people can only watch it on Netflix. And then Netflix is going to make Star Wars pay to have it advertised on like the front page of Netflix. For sure.
I think they buy rights to things, so I don't even understand. So they own Star Wars at that point, at least for distribution rights. Why would they make Star Wars then pay for advertisement if that's their profit?
But they're not making profit on views of it on Netflix. They're making profit on people having the accounts in. It's like you got to think about this. Like if Netflix plays Star Wars $150 million to have their movie exclusively streamed on Netflix, do you think Netflix is going to make $50 million in revenue of people making Netflix accounts that didn't have one before just to watch Star Wars? Like that's
No,
that's that's where I think that the streaming platforms are not going to get these big blockbuster movies is because like right out the gate, like they're not going to debut on something like that because people aren't going to, there's not going to be a rush of people that didn't like you're going to get people that already have Netflix that watch it on there, but you're not going to get a slew of people that didn't have Netflix before buying a Netflix account just to watch one movie.
that's true. But
Like
here's where you're wrong: is they're gonna do that 8 or 9 times. They're gonna have 8 or 9 movies that you want to watch, and then
see,
they'll pay for it. And even still,
but
let's
there's
imagine that you have an average user base for the month. That number stays the same, you're doing awesome. That number is the same. It doesn't go down. You're doing amazing. Because that's passive income every month. You don't have to work for those guys. They're already staying for wherever you have on the site. So if you add stuff and that number keeps going up a little bit, which it is, Netflix continues to go up every month. So it clearly does work because Hulu debuts movies on its site. Disney debuts films, not films, like series now at this point. Like WandaVision's out.
yeah, but that anything Marvel or Star Wars is gonna bang no matter what it's on.
That's not true. Do you ever see the Inhumans?
No,
Marvel Inhumans? That show sucks. That show's absolute dog poop. It's doopy poo poo. It's terrible. It's bad. Don't watch it.
I don't
So
know.
I'm
I
telling
I
you,
think that it'll be interesting to see. Um,
AMC bankrupt in 10 years. Short AMC.
I
That's it.
you
Give me
can't
the give
say
me the
that.
Winston stat and we'll finish this. Uh,
Okay,
movies
so I
suck.
think I'm good.
Yeah, here's stock pick for the week. Short AMC.
Okay.
Take out a second mortgage and short AMC.
Um, I'm not going to give out a stock pick of the week. My stock pick of the week is buy stock in Matthew Stafford and the Rams winning a Super Bowl in the next 3 years. You don't think that's going to happen?
No.
Well, here's my uh here's something that'll help me. So Matthew Stafford is fifth on this list. So this is the 2015 NFL season quarterback per completion percentage ranked in the NFL. I'm sure there has to be a certain number of passes you have to throw before you qualify on here, but like everyone above Jameis has thrown at least 250 passes. So where do you think Jameis falls on this list?
How many people is it? Can I give you a
On the
percentile?
entire on the entire list, there's 35 people.
And Jameis is on the list?
Jameis is on. Well, this is the 35 quarterbacks that played football in 2015. So yes, Jameis would
Oh.
qualify for the list.
I thought it was an all-time thing. I was like, Jameis is already on the list? What a baller.
No, not a chance. This is the 2015 season.
And he was what? What was the question?
It is ranked by completion percentage. So what number do you think he is? 1 through 35.
This is his rookie season?
This is, I think I think this is his rookie season. Yes.
Rookie season, he is. Oh God, I actually think the Bucks were like, they were like 4 and
It went
12.
6 and 10. 6 and 10.
I mean, I was close. It's still pretty bad. 6 and 10. He was 57% completion rating, which will put him 23rd on the list.
So 23rd on this list is Derek Carr
Oh
at
God.
61.1%. And Jameis is below that. So I'll let you try again.
What did I say? 24?
You said 23.
27. If you tell me it's
27.
last, I'm gonna be upset.
27 is Cam Newton at 59.8%. And he was on the 15-1 Carolina Panthers that went to the Super Bowl that year.
What a baller! Right next to Jameis Winston. Let's go.
Uh, Jameis Winston is still farther down than that.
He's only 34 people. Is he the last? Is he the last one?
He is not number 35. 35 is Andrew Luck, who only played 7 games and was at 55.3% completion percentage.
You know, this doesn't sound like a bad stat. Jameis Winston's in some good company here.
So, do you want to take one more guess, or do you want me to just tell you?
Tell me, I can't guess.
He's 32nd on the list at 58.3 percentage.
That's not so bad.
58. So, I'm going to read you some names of people that were above him in completion percentage. Directly above him, you have Blake Bortles,
Oh,
Colin
God.
Kaepernick.
Oh
Blake Bortles,
God.
Colin Kaepernick, Ryan Fitzpatrick,
What?
Brian Hoyer,
I don't even
Matt
know who that guy
Hasselbeck,
is. Matt
Brock,
Hasselbeck.
Brock Osweiler,
Who?
Marcus Mariota, Eli Manning, Blaine Gabbert, Josh
What
McCown.
the hell? Who are these people?
Jay Cutler's above him on this list, and so is Andy Dalton. So all of those people I just named are no longer playing professional football or are like a third or fourth string quarterback.
Well, to be fair, neither is Jameis Winston.
That's my point.
My point is that Jameis Winston, he was also next to Cam Newton. He was in that
Yeah,
bottom
look,
percentile, and you said Cam Newton won the Super Bowl. Now he plays for the Patriots.
oh, Cam Newton had 35 touchdowns and 10 interceptions that same year, and he also, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he ran for probably 10 plus touchdowns that year. Jameis Winston had 22 touchdowns, 15 picks.
Yeah, but does Cam Newton? I don't have anything. Jameis Winston just needs
But so,
just needs a
so
good year. Next year.
Jameis Winston was 14th in attempts total, but 32nd in completion percentage.
Okay. All right. Whatever. We're waiting for next year. This is the last Jameis Winston stat thing until next year when he can actually perform at a good level, and I can have something to make him look good.
I just want to throw it out there that Jameis Winston got benched for a tight end.
I just want to throw it out there that the tight end didn't deserve that spot, and Jameis did.
The tight end got it, and Jameis Winston didn't. So
Jameis Winston is 1-for-1 in playoffs on the Super Bowl, and the just want to say it's 100% completion rating. Just wanted to let you know.
I just want to say thank you everyone for listening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.
I'm not gonna try to top that. Good night.